Now that we have referenced the structural grid and displayed the appropriate levels, we will create a display style, which, in turn, we will associate it to a display rule. A display rule is a set of display criteria that is processed on any view of a design model. Display rules allow you to control the symbology, appearance, and display of elements. This control is based on the property of the element, view, reference, or file. Often is the case when referencing data across design teams, discipline, or outside contractors where you do not own the files that you are referencing. This may prohibit physically modifying the file to suit your needs or standards. In this situation, as an architectural designer, you need to visually subdue the structural engineer's structure grid symbology. One way you can achieve this is through the use of a display style. So let's jump into MicroStation where we're going to control the display by setting a display style. So here we are back in MicroStation where we have the proposed restaurant DGN file open. Along the ribbon, from the View tab, in the lower right corner of the Presentation ribbon group, there is an icon for a dialog launcher. Let's go ahead now and click this to open up the Display Styles dialog. The Display Styles dialog opens. This dialog is used to define and manage display styles in the active file and to view display styles available from the DGN libraries. A display style is a predefined collection of display overrides and settings that can change the appearance of design graphics without modifying the original elements. So what we're going to do now is create a new display style. From the icon bank of the Display Styles dialog, click the New icon. Name this new style Structural. Then, on the right-hand side of the Display Rules drop-down menu, click the adjacent icon to open the Display Rules dialog. The Display Rules dialog is used to create and manage the display rules. Our next step is to create a new display rule. From the Display Rule dialog, let's click the icon New Display Rule Set. The display rule set appears in the display rule set list box, where you can give it a name. So we're going to name this Structural. Next, click the new display rule icon for the selected structural display rule set. The rule appears in the display rules list box, where you can modify the rule. Conditions for the display rules are based on data available in context objects. Context objects are elements, models, references, views, files, and named groups. Conditions also support items and custom item types. Under the Conditions column, click the condition Applies Always, opening the Condition Editor. In the Condition Editor dialog, we're going to click the Pick Property drop-down list. The property types are listed here. In the search field, we're going to now type in Logical. From the search results, select the property Logical Name. In the Condition Editor dialog, ensure that the equal comparison operator is selected, and then in the value field to the right, type in Structural Grid. So now we're going to add another criterion to the condition. To add another criteria, click the Add New Criterion icon from the Condition Editor. Next, in the Condition Editor dialog, click the Pick Property drop-down list. And then we'll type Level into the search field. Here, we'll select the level property from the search results. Here, we'll set the comparison operator to Not Equal. This comparison operator is used to compare the left side of the equation to the right, reporting valid when the two sides are not equal to each other. Next, select the S columns from the drop-down list of levels, and then press the Tab key. We are finished, so we can now click OK. So now we're going to create an action for the display rule. Under the Actions column of the Display Rules dialog, we're going to click the green plus sign to create a new action. you can assign one or more actions to display rules. These actions are executed if the set of conditions are met for the display rules. Next, from the drop-down list, we're going to select Symbology Overrides. In the action columns, click the Symbology Override icon. From this window, enable the Element Color Override checkbox, and then select the color 22 from the index. Then, enable the Line Weight Override, and then select the Line Weight Override 0 from the drop-down list next to the checkbox. Now that you created your first display rule, you will now apply that to the structural display style to see if the condition was met and the action applied. So now that we're finished, we can close the Display Rules dialog. Next, we're going to associate the display rule to the display style. So let's return to the Display Styles dialog. Double-click the structural display style from the list on the left to apply that to the active view. Then, in the Display Rules section, select from the drop-down list, Structural. The display rule was effective in the sense that you were able to control the overriding symbology without the need to physically change the colors or the line weights for the reference. It is important to note here that the display rule was created in the active DGN. A more desired approach would be to create display rules in a configured DGN library. That way, the display rules will be accessible to all the DGNs project-wide. Our task here is finished, so now we're just going to save settings and close the DGN file. During this lesson, you learned how to create a new display style and associate a display style to a display rule.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.